one of the oldest civilizations in the world, is having the biggest protest in human history. And instead, CNN is showing wall-to-wall, or as they call it, gavel-to-gavel, that's what Ashley Banfield said, coverage of the George Zimmerman trial. Now, I'm not diminishing the importance of the George Zimmerman trial. It is very important. There are all kinds of racial issues we still have to deal with this country. But showing any trial, just hours of trial minutia, is just pure drivel, especially when important things are going on. Should I just get off my thing with CNN? See, I have a thing where I want them to be good because Fox is awful one way, MSNBC is awful the other way. So I want, and that's why I love working here at the Young Turks, because we're doing that online. But I still want there to be I want there to be someone giving us actual news. Am I just a crazy dreamer?
No, I think CNN is sadly pandering to the masses in the sense of what we were just discussing. I don't think America knows what to think about Egypt. I think they're a little scared and don't really know what to think or say or do about it, so it's so much easier to just zone out to the Zimmermans. And it's disappointing. It's really disappointing.
But shouldn't CNN be the one that's showing it to us so that we learn?
Yes, they should.
I mean, look, I'm going to say something that's not going to go over well. It's going to go over like a fart in church, to be honest. But
comments below, by the way, guys.
The truth is, you know, I say it like I mean it. I don't think Americans, first of all, names are so much harder to pronounce. Can I just say, you know? It's sad that we don't care as much as that. We're so obsessed with these trials. I mean, O.J. Simpson, Casey Anthony, Jodi Arias, Amanda Knox. You know, now this is the new George Zimmerman. We're fixated on these trials, and it's happening on our own shores. You know, it's not something that's over there. And the other thing is, I think that we can. Everyone had a verdict, I think, before the trial even begun. So everyone is just looking to have their verdict backed up by the evidence, by the witnesses, by all of that. It's great water cooler talk. You know, it's easier to talk about that. And you can relate because ultimately, we can put ourselves in that shoe. What would you have done if you had seen that? We can't really put ourselves in the shoes of the Egyptians because we don't live like that. That's not our reality.
Well, interesting. I want to show just an image of CNN, what they've been doing. So they're showing Zimmerman all the time, and sometimes they're Skyping people in that box on the left, and they're showing the trial. And Egypt is getting a tiny muted picture-in-picture box live protest bill in Egypt. It's actually changed at some point today. It was watching now, which is bizarre because it's like them saying, well, we're watching what you really should be watching, but we're not going to have you people watching it. I mean,
ratings. People want to see Zimmerman.
But do people do that? My question is this: do people really? I think we just keep feeding them crap, and they just keep ingesting it. Do they really want to see these trials? Do you want to see these trials?
I don't really want to see these trials, but yeah, I found it all over the television last night, and since it's everywhere, you get sucked in and you start watching, and you would expect more from CNN. Sadly, you would Nancy Grace, sure, all day long, wall to wall, but not CNN. When so much is happening in Egypt, it would be different if nothing was going on this week at all. But yeah, I think since it's forced down our throats, then we go, oh, interesting. Well, maybe those lacerations aren't, you know, conducive with, you know, being.
Right. Is there anything more irrelevant, really, than hour after hour of trial coverage? Again, I'm not diminishing the importance of the trial, but the minutia of what goes on in a trial and the back and forth drivel and the questioning and that we know that whatever gets decided at the end probably has nothing to do with the truth. It has only to do with who manipulated it better. Like, can you think of anything that would be more irrelevant for 5 hours in a row to show than a trial? What would be more drivelous?
Watching paint dry? I don't know. I think, like I said, I think part of it is it's driven down our throats. I think part of it is that's what we want. We are responding to them, to these stories by giving our ratings and tuning in, and that's the problem. They wouldn't be doing this. There would be no supply without demand. Do you know what I mean?
It's a chicken and egg situation.
Exactly.
I think,
it's drama. People love drama. If they're
drama.
not soap operas are tanking, so let's watch.
Right. Well, interestingly, yesterday, I was on Twitter going crazy about this, and I tweeted at CNN's Jake Tapper, who was on air at the time, and I said, Jake, do you, on your own show that has your name on it, do you even decide what story goes first? Because they did literally 12 minutes of Zimmerman, and then they did about a minute on Egypt. And he tweeted at me during the commercial break, and he said, it depends what's happening live, which I thought was bizarre because
that's happening live.
There are a million people, and I like Jake, but it was an odd response. Anyway, this whole Egypt thing is going to keep going for a long, long time, and hopefully right now, if you were to turn on any of the networks, they're doing a better job, and I hope that they will continue to do so.